this is Rap the News, and the last question I was asked that got the most thumbs up is, where did the white man come from? And this is a long one because, like I said, the Bible was infiltrated and they changed things around to hide themselves. So have patience at what I say, even if you don't understand it at first. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to start with Genesis 1:25. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind. So this is a man-looking beast. It is not mankind, but it is after his kind. He looks like a man. He got long stringy hair like a woman. And that's what we're going to go to next. Revelation 9:7 is describing the beast. And their faces were as the faces of men. So they look like us. And they had hair as the hair of women. And they got long hair. Who fits that description? Gentiles do. So the beast of the field is a Gentile. And Satan was a Gentile. And Gentiles are just jinn. They're just another species of jinn, meaning devils. And this is not an attack on the white race. This is just the truth. The white race, like it said, are deceived. They don't know who they are. Some of them know, but not all of them know. The majority, the multitudes, they think they're human. They think that the black man, the Hebrew, is the beast or the sons of Cain, and boy, are they in for a shock when they find out it's them. Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, because the existence of the Gentile, the beast of the earth, is a lie, because he is coming forth as a man-child when he is not. He's a beast. He is not a man. They have the faces of men. They look and resemble men. They can breed with men, interbreed, because he told Satan that him and Eve will share children, right? And those children will be at war. Who's at war? The white against the black. The white started it, didn't he? Didn't he come over here and take us from our land and bring us into this? Didn't he destroy Jerusalem? Who destroys Jerusalem? The Gentile did, because he's what? The devil. Only the devil would destroy the country of God. Think about that. Genesis 3:1, and I'm trying to make this quick, it's long. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. He was a beast of the field. He was a white man. Now the beast of the field started off white, but when we screwed up in the garden, then the seed came through Eve. And so now Gentiles are born of us. So we got to watch for the spirit now, because we can't look at the color. So Gentiles now come in all different colors. They are a melting pot going to hell. That's what the melting pot is. Luke 3:7. Then said he to the multitude, the multitudes are always the nations who were coming to him to be baptized. If you look in the Old Testament, nobody got baptized. Why? Because we was a nation unto ourselves. We didn't need baptizing. What was baptizing for? It was for the Gentile sinner. Why? To baptize him of who he was so he can become a new man with the Spirit, because Gentiles are born without the Spirit. Right? When we were created, the Spirit was breathed into us. When they were created, they was made from the earth. But it ain't just the earth, it's the core of the earth, the fire. They were made from the fire, people. And so we're going to prove all this. So he said to the multitude, which are the nations, which are the Gentiles, who were coming to him to be baptized, offsprings of the vipers, and this is the Aramaic, terminology. They, God dang it, I can't think of the word. Satan is bothering my head. So I can't even say it. Aramaic version of the Bible. Who has instructed you to flee from the wrath that is coming? Because basically it describes it more clear. He said to the multitudes who are coming to be baptized, offsprings of the vipers, the serpent, offsprings of Satan, who has instructed you to flee from the wrath that is coming. What's coming? Nibiru. Watch the Bible describe that, man, to you. What's coming? Nibiru is what? Hell. And what is hell? The pit. And the pit is going to what? Bump into this hill. It's going to come up underneath and suck this earth down into it. Watch, Matthew 23:33. You snakes. What was Satan? Serpent. You bride of vipers. Same thing he's saying here. How will you escape being condemned to hell? Why are they condemned to hell? They wasn't born with the Spirit. And those who are of the flesh cannot please God. So this is the white man. And where did he come from? He came from hell. So I answered your question right there. But we're just trying to get an understanding here. And so to let you know that they are the beasts, we go with Jonah 3:8. But let the man and the beast be covered. So you're not going to be covering cows and sheep and all the farm animals all over the world with sackcloth. You're going to cover this viper right here, this murderer. You know, he was a murderer from the beginning. The Gentile was. Cain was a murderer, so he was Satan's seed. And cry mightily unto God. So the cow's going to be crying mightily unto the God? No. Yeah, let them turn everyone from his evil way. The cow's going to turn from their evil way? No. There was only one man there. Where was he at? He was in modern day Iran, the men of Nineveh, right? And from the violence that is in their hands. And they violent, they murderers, like I said, from the beginning, right? All of these are white men at this time. Romans 2:14, even Gentiles who do not have God's written law. So how they going to hand you the Bible back? Because they tampered with it. That's why they're going to hand you. And they took all of your power of your God and gave it to their God, Jesus Christ. And I say that again because I'm telling you the truth. They took the power of the God of Israel and gave it to their image of the beast. They beasts. So as you see, they are the beast. What's the image of the beast? That white man that you saw draw, and everybody say when you see his picture, that's Jesus. No, that's the image of the beast that they bought. And anybody who buys the image of the beast is going to hell. They're the beast. They're the beasts that need to be covered with sackcloth to cry mightily. Even the Gentiles who do not have God's written law. How can they tell you about a book that wasn't even given to them? Why? Because they were doomed to hell. They was condemned to hell. They're estranged from the womb. They're wicked when they come out. Right? They don't think so. They think they civilized. And that's why the Gentile destroyer is going to show them how civilized they are. The Gentiles who do not have God's written law. 1 Corinthians 9:21, verifying that. To those without the law, I became like one without the law. So who did Paul of Tarsus go to? The Gentiles. Why? Because they was without the law, void of God, condemned to hell. I'm right. Psalms 96:5. For all the gods of the Gentiles are idols. Zeus, you know all of them. Patheus, or whatever his name is. Hades. All of your gods are idols, even Jesus Christ. All of the gods of the Gentiles are idols, so they made this Christ, which is not the Christ that came to us, the children of Israel. This is a false Christ. This is a false Messiah that they made. The Gentiles made him coming out of hell. You don't explain it. But the Lord made the heavens. So they God didn't create nothing. Galatians 2:15. We are Jews by nature and not sinners of the Gentiles. All the sinners are doomed to hell. The Gentiles can't stop sinning. You know why? Because they don't have the Spirit breathed into them. The Spirit is the one that keeps us on track with God, because it is of God. 1 Thessalonians 4:5. Not in the lust of, and this word right here means passion, even as the Gentiles which know not God. The Gentiles don't know God. Who do they know? They know idols. They worship people. They worship science. They worship men. They worship Jesus Christ, which is a creature. That's what the Bible said. He was the firstborn of all creatures, right? And it's two Christs, I told you. So if you look in my videos, you're going to see there is two Christs. Look that up so you can learn about the two Christs. So the Gentiles what? Don't know God. Titus 1:16. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, separating God from state, and church from state, and unto every good work reprobate, right? A reprobate. The mindset. 1 Corinthians 10:20. But I say the things that the Gentiles sacrifice to. The Gentiles sacrifice to devils. All of their idols, see, they got you duped in it. They got you going to hell, worshiping the idol. We don't worship creation. Christ came to save us with the law. He did not come for you to worship him. The Gentiles worship idols, so they worship human beings, which is an idol, and not to God. Again, the Gentiles sacrifice to devils. I didn't write this. I didn't write none of it. And not to God. I'm just helping you understand it. And I would not that you should have fellowship with devils. So what did Christ say? Go nowhere among the Gentiles. What did he call a Gentile woman? A dog. What did he call them? Swine. Don't give your pearls, your knowledge, your book to the Gentiles. Why? Because they were trodden you underfoot. And what did the Gentiles do? They trodden Israel underfoot till the time of the Gentiles, to the end of these damn devils. 1 John 3:8. He that committeth sin is of the devil. Gentiles are what? Sinners. And not sinners are the Gentiles. They're the sinners. And the sinners are of the devils. They are what? A brood of snakes. They vipers. They condemn to hell. They know. What do you think they battling me so much on the channel for? They think I don't know why they battling me. Because if you take Christ away, and you say Christ is not a God, then they have no more salvation. They didn't have it from the beginning. It was all a lie. The Gentiles will come to you from the ends of the earth, says the Bible, and say to you that our fathers inherit nothing but lies and vanity. And that's what you're inheriting. Lies and vanity. Your anger ain't going to make the truth go away. So the Gentiles don't know God. They're abominable. They sacrifice in the devil, and they commit sin from birth because they are the devil. The Spirit keeps us from sinning. So he who was born of God don't sin no more. They stop sinning. But he who continues sin, trying to wash it in the blood of Jesus, all of those are Gentiles, white, black, green, yellow, and brown. So the Gentiles are to be destroyed. So we read, who has warned you, from being condemned to hell? Who warned you? And we'll read it again. How can you escape being condemned to hell? Who has warned you? Who has instructed you to flee from the wrath that's coming? That's Nibiru. That's the pit. That's the fire. That's planet hell. That's what I call it. Right? This is the doom that's coming. Jeremiah 4:7. The lion has come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of Gentiles is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make their land desolate, and their city shall be laid waste without inhabitants. So it said, all the nations shall be utterly destroyed. Because this is the Gentile destroyer. Why do Gentiles have to be destroyed? Do you know they came from the destroyer? They came from hell. Where did Gentiles come from? From hell. Okay, let's get into it. If you watch my last videos, you're hearing the strange noises that's coming from the sky, and you're seeing the red glow, and I put that together for you so that you understand that's the Gentile destroyer that Job right here in Job 15:21 is talking about. A dreadful sound is in the ears, in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon them. So that dreadful sound that they hear in the noises, in the distance, is in their ears, right? The destroyer. That's what the dreadful sound, that that humming that they're hearing in that boom and those crashes and that crackling, is coming from the destroyer. It shall come upon him. And then I said it again, Revelation 6:8. It says that hell is being brought. Hell will follow. Death is coming and hell follows with them. This is hell. This is the destroyer. This is planet Korat 7b, as they call it. And they know it's hell. They knew all the damn time because that's where they came from. He despairs of escaping the realm of darkness, and that's the outermost that the Bible is saying that they're going to be thrown in. He is marked for the sword. And he said, what, the Gentiles are going to be destroyed by this fire? And that he's going to call for a sword for them throughout all his mountains, right? And that's Ezekiel 38, 22, 21, and 22. He wanders about as food for the vultures. He knows the day of darkness is at hand. So he already knows this eclipse is finna happen with this big-ass planet that's coming, the destroyer. And it is the destroyer of Gentiles, not God's chosen people. Not because you black that you ain't Gentile. You Gentile too. Now, first they was pink. Revelations 12:12. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down to you. He came down from what? That damn planet. Having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. The time of the Gentile. So he had a time to screw mankind up and get you sent to hell along with him. And now his time is up, and the Gentile destroyer is coming to collect his ass into the pit. Revelation 9:1. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven. Jesus Christ. And I'm not Jehovah's Witness. I ain't going to sit and lie to you. Unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Jesus Christ has those keys. Jesus Christ was a star that fell from heaven. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened. And what's going to happen when this pit is coming? I got a video of the pit smoking behind the sun right now. I got videos of it glowing in our skies. I got videos of the sound that they scared of, right? Which is home to their ass. As the smoke of a great furnace, the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts, which we know is the white man, which we know is vipers, which we know is snakes, which we know is the Gentiles. So, upon the earth, and upon them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And who are they tormenting? Men. All of this is happening. People saying this is the tribulation. Yeah, the tribulation is already happening for men. It ain't happening for beasts yet. The tribulation for beasts is coming. It's already here, the Gentile destroyer. And watch. Revelations 9:7. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. So these are men on top of horses, white men. And on their heads were as if it were crowns. All of those helmets that they was wearing. And their faces were as the face of men. So they looked like men. And they had hair like women. So we know how our hair looked. And we know how our hair looked before. And it wasn't like women. Because we already know, long hair dishonors a man. Revelation 9:11. And they had a king over them. Who was that? Christ, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in Greek tongue has his name Apollyon. The Greek term Apollyon, right there, the destroyer. The destroyer. Apollyon is the destroyer. It's Nibiru. It's the thing that's coming. It's the planet of the crossing. Rabbinical literature states, Abaddon is identified as a realm where the damned lie in fire and snow. So science identified Korat 7b, which is planet hell, as having one side that is blazing on fire and the other side it is ice. It's ice. Y'all, if anybody watch my videos, you know that. Funny, huh? This is some crazy shit, ain't it? Jehovah's Witnesses say, and I read out the Quran, I read the Jehovah's Witness, I read the Sumerian text. It don't mean I'm none of them. I'm just telling you what they say, right? They also cite Revelations 20:1-3, where the angel having the key of the abyss is actually shown to be a representative of God, concluding that Abaddon is another name for Jesus after his resurrection. Nibiru is called the planet of the crossing. Jesus is going to be a sign in the end, it says. And that sign is the planet of the crossing. Revelations 1:18. And I am he, says Jesus, that liveth and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell to the bottomless pit and of death. 1:18. And again, watch. And he had, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, right? And to him was given the keys to the bottomless pit. Is it two sets of keys? Think about that. A star fell from heaven, which we know is Lucifer, right? When you fall from heaven, he didn't say descended. He said fell. He was thrown out. And he had what? The key to the bottomless pit. And then watch. We got Jesus Christ saying what? I am he that has what? The keys of hell and of death to the bottomless pit. So hell followed death. Revelation 6:8. Death came, is coming, the plague, the pale horse, and hell followed with him. Or hell came and death followed. I think it was death first. And there it is right there again. What is it? It's Nibiru, the planet of the crossing. Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down from the ground, which did weaken the nations, made them believe a lie that Christ was a god, Apollyon, right? Again, we can get back up here. A star fell from heaven, and to him was given the keys to the bottomless pit. And we know who has the keys to the bottomless pit. Christ. I am he who has what? The keys to hell, the bottomless pit, and of death. And the star what? It fell. And who fell? Lucifer fell, son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, who did weaken the nations? And then watch. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to give you this testimony for the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright morning star. The morning star, son of the morning. S-U-N, no. So their Jesus is Satan. Our Jesus came to bring the law. Their Jesus is Satan, to come to oppose the law. So every time God says something, Like the real Christ say, worship and serve only God. Their Christ say, you got to go through me to get to God. No, you don't. That's Satan to get you sent to hell. God said, look unto me and be ye saved. You don't have to look unto Apollyon. I'm telling y'all the truth here, man. And watch. So they got a covenant with Satan. Isaiah 28:18. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through that hell. Then you shall be trodden down by it, like you trodden down Israel. For the time that it goes forth, it shall take you. For morning by morning, every time it rise, shall it pass over you. Hell. Nibiru. By day and by night, it shall be vexation only to understand the report. What is it doing? Global warming. What is it doing? Red iron oxide. What does red iron oxide do? Shut down the organs and the system, and it's causing all this pneumonia worldwide that's killing many millions of people. And they keeping it all under the rug. Psalms 9:15. The Gentiles have fallen into the pit that they dug for others. They was trying to get you to sent to hell, and they all going to hell believing in that idol, which is sacrificing to devils. Their own feet have been caught in the trap that they set. So they tried to rewrite the Bible to get you to worship that false god in there, that they planted in there. Like I said, look at the video where I said Jesus contradicts himself. Look at the video where I said it's two Christ. And then you'll see that Satan and the jinn and the Lucifer, the morning star, who has the keys to the bottomless pit. You'll see him in there contradicting the real Jesus. And anybody who fall for that shit, who believeth the lie, all of y'all going to the lake of fire. Isaiah 24:17. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. That's the hell. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise, remember I told you the other day, it's going to be so damn loud when it come real close, of the fear shall fall into the pit. And then what does science say? That Nibiru is going to swing under the earth, and you're going to fall right into the damn pit. The pit is the damn Nibiru. It's the planet of the crossing. It's hell. That's where they God come from. And if you look at the ancient ancient Sumerian hieroglyphics, they got a god riding on top of Nibiru. Right? Their god. Think about it. And he cometh up out of the midst of the pit, shall be taken into the snare, because they dug it for others, but they're going to be taken in it. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. So the dome is going to be open, and then the earth is going to shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. Why? Because this thing is a fiery furnace. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. So it's going to have a pole shift, like it said, where the mountain is going to go south and north, or north and south, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgressions thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Where is it falling? Right into the pit. And it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Who are the kings of the earth? It said all of the kings of the earth are beasts. You can't be a king of the earth unless you are a son of the damn devil. Keep going. Psalms 9:17. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the Gentiles that forgot God. How can they remember God? They worshiping Christ. Remember, Christ came in front of God. Remember, all power was given to this false ass God. Remember that judgment is now in this false God's hands. And whosoever believeth that lie, all y'all going to hell with these Gentiles, man. Maybe y'all are Gentiles. Ezekiel 31:16. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall, when I cast them down into hell with them that descend into the pit. So when this thing swoop under us, all of them is going to be falling into that damn hell. And he opened up, Revelation 9:2, the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Again, Isaiah 9:19. And through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened. So that Nibiru, that Planet X, that Wormwood, whatever you want to call it, is the one that is the destroyer, Apollyon. Jesus, the you know what I mean? He has the keys to it. And I'm talking about the false Christ. And the people shall be as fuel for the fire, the nations. Why? Because we're going to get delivered from it. But the nations, like he said, he's going to destroy and consume the earth with fire. And the people shall be as fuel for the fire. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. We return to the dust, and they return to the fire from where they was made. This is Rap the News.